Hello, welcome to Real Frank Movie Reviews. Thanks for checking it out. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the new Netflix movie, Spiderhead. Starring Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller. We will be talking about spoilers, so if you want to see it first, go see it and come back and watch this episode. We're going to get into the nitty-gritty of this plot, give this thing an overall score, then maybe into a little discussion and some happy pills. Happy pills. All that coming up next.
Real Frank.
Okay, the new movie on Netflix, Spiderhead. Oh, thank you. It's great to be here. Thank you. Oh, please stop. You guys are too kind. Yeah, so Spiderhead, starring Chris Hemsworth and Miles Teller, and directed by Joseph Kosinski. Now, Joe is turning into a big-time director. He just, his other movie's just out there, Top Gun Maverick. He directed that for Tom Cruise, and we know how well that monster's doing. And then he did the movie Oblivion with Tom Cruise, and that did some amazing numbers. It was a pretty cool movie. And then he also did Tron Legacy. So those are like his three biggies, and then with this one. So he's on a kind of a roll right now. So this movie is about these convicts that live on this island where they're allowed to have these experiments performed by Chris Hemsworth's character, Dr. Steve, I believe his name is. There's no bars, there's no cells, there's no jumpsuits. There's only one locked door, and that's to get out of the building. Their doors are always unlocked where they live in their facilities. And they have like an honor system where they trust, and someone actually cooks. Some people have chores to do and things they all do. They have some sort of role there. Here is a picture of the scene of a common area. You can see a couple of the prisoners, I guess we call them, or guinea pigs, are playing with a puzzle. There's a general area. They can all mingle with one another. It's a very open place to make it feel safe, I guess. And who would rather be here than locked up in a jail? But you're getting experiment on with these special drugs. Now this is Dr. Steve, Chris Hemsworth, obviously, and he does a tremendous job acting in here. I love this character. I love the job he did acting. It was fantastic and kind of outside his normal realm of a tough guy that he's done most of his movies. He's had a couple other fun characters, but this was a good one. I enjoyed him as this particular role, as this crazy experimental doctor. Here is the facility that they do the testing in. Him and his assistant are there, and they talk into these microphones into the room, and they give him instructions what to do. In this particular scene, Miles Teller is being driven out on a boat to a specific location out off site, and he's given this pill to make everything look amazing, wonderful. When he gets there, he takes the blindfold off, and he's actually looking at a dump or a construction site type of place, but in his vision, it looks like this amazing, most beautiful thing he's ever seen in his entire life. The most beautiful thing he's ever seen in his life, and he's looking at a dump. Sucker! Dr. Steve got him good. Dr. Steve got him good. So these are the pills. As you can see here, the pills, there's these packets attached to the backs of everybody that they get injected. Each pill does something different, has a different effect. And Dr. Steve's trying to get his little miracle pill, the one he's particularly working in, called B6, approved. So he gives everything a gold star that passes, but that's his goal. He wants to get this B6 thing, test results to come out with the result that he's hoping for. But these are the pills that are in the back. They're reloaded. And you can see here it's attached and it's controlled with a phone. He can increase the dosage through the phone. This particular pill here is the one that makes them go wacky. They go a little cray-cray. They go a little cray-cray with this one. Makes them go insane, like they want to kill themselves type of thing. And here's the phone. You can see here at the bottom, this is where they pick the pill, and then he can increase or decrease the dosage up here. And he has all that with the phone. But which is interesting because when you saw this thing attached to the back, right? How does it inject? How do the pills get in there? That's the weird thing, right? You don't see no tube or anything. How does it get injected into the bloodstream? That was a little funky thing there. I would like the more details on that because it was vague about it. It did show you this, but I mean, you really can't see anything there to get into the bloodstream, like a needle or something. I guess that's just me being picky. So we find out the backstory of Miles Teller's character. He was drunk driving, had his friend in the car, and his girl in the back. And he plows into a tree. And ends up killing them both. Now, the crazy thing in this scene is he goes flying through the movie, which is kind of cool how they do it. He goes flying through the windshield. He tumbles like 4 or 5 times. The way they showed his body flop was pretty good. But the thing that was crazy is then he comes to and tries to get his friend out of the car who's dead, and tries to get his girl out of the car who's also dead, and the car explodes. But your body goes tumbling like that. There is no way you're going to be able to get up and try and pull someone out of the car. That didn't make any sense to me. It was ridiculous. But I like the idea of him flying through the windshield, and the way they shot that was pretty cool. But the idea that he could get up and try was ludicrous. Totally ludicrous. So that's his little secret. He feels super, super guilty. And what you find out in this movie is that's kind of the theme. Everybody feels guilty about some mistake they made. And the moral of this movie is like they're trying to present, A, you made a mistake, move on. Don't let it haunt you or destroy the rest of your life. That's kind of what the message of this is in the movie. You got to move on. You can't live in the past. Yes, you made a mistake. Forget about it and move on and learn from it. But as we see here, there was a little accident. Dr. Steve gets a little cray-cray, gives that one pill, they call, I forget the name, Dr. Thrawn or something like that, to a patient. She ends up smashing her back on the wall, and it gets flooded, and she gets more than she should, and then she ends up stabbing herself and killing herself. Now, when you watch the Netflix previews for this, you're like, oh, this kind of looks like a horror, crazy, funny movie because they show this blood scene, but this is actually the only blood scene in the entire movie. So it's a little misleading because you're thinking one way, but the movie ends up going a completely different way, which is kind of cool, I guess, and you're kind of surprised by it. So Dr. Steve's in big fucking trouble now, right? Because he killed a patient and he shouldn't have done that, and he's going to try and cover that up as fast as he can. So anyway, Miles Teller's character falls in love with this girl. We find out her little secret. Her little secret was that she had a baby. She left in the car for 3 hours when she went to work at Walmart. Poor baby. Left it in the car. What kind of mother is that? So that's her guilt. She feels like a horrible person. That's why she don't mind all these crazy tests. But Miles Teller's character falls in love with her and tries to save her in the end. Overall, this was a pretty entertaining movie. I did enjoy it. Chris Hemsworth was a star in this thing. His acting was great. His little dance moves were fantastic. I did enjoy it, and it was different. Not your typical Hollywood movie. Little difference outside the box. And you had this big-time director, too, and a great cast. So overall, for my score for Spiderhead, I give this a 5.8. Thought it was pretty good, pretty entertaining, kind of an original idea. There were some predictable scenes in it, but I felt it was done well, and it didn't drag too long. It didn't drag out too much, for my opinion. So, again, my score for this, it's an entertaining movie. It's a good streaming movie. I don't know if I'd go see it at the movie theater, but to watch at home and stream, it's pretty decent content for streaming. Because you know how they try and screw us, right? Pay this fucking membership for these streaming services, and they throw all these B shit at us, right? Throw in 2 big actors, and they throw it out there, and it's garbage, right? This one is pretty good. It's pretty good for streaming. I don't know if it'd take off in the movie theater, or good for the movie theater, but streaming, I felt like the value was there. So again, overall, I give this a 5.8. Until next time, thanks for watching.